I've created a program to train students starting day one in college on how to market themselves. The education is not enough. How are you going to make a living at doing what you love that is monetizable?
Hey, welcome back to Success, Motivation, and Inspiration. Today I've got Dr. Chaz Austin. Explain kind of how your journey began and then what inspired you to write How to Find Work for the Rest of Your Life.
This is my third book. I've been a college professor about 20 years, Curtis, and I've taught mainly courses in communication and business. And I found early on that there was a gap, a chasm between a college education, same for high school education, and what the business world needs. We're not preparing our students, have not for decades, to enter the business world or the nonprofit world, doesn't matter. How to get out of school and make a living. And my colleagues in the business world were like, what are you teaching these kids? They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to write. They have no idea how to deal with me and my company. It's all about them. They think I'm running a camp or something. Like it's all about what they want. I want a creative environment with a great team where I learn a lot and it's fun. And I'm not running a camp, Sonny. Okay, what are you going to do for me? You need to be focused on the audience. So it's training people in how to do that, training students how to do that, so that they're working in their field long before they graduate. It's particularly valuable for parents because they more and more, as college education gets more and more expensive, what's the return on my investment? Is my kid going to be able to get a job? Or does he get out with a piece of paper and I have $100,000 in debt I have to pay and he never gets out from under? So I've managed to fill that gap through personal coaching, through courses, through my 3 LinkedIn learning courses, through the 3 books I've got, through my TEDx talk, etc. And ultimately, what I want to do is have my program be embedded into the curriculum of every college and university in the United States, because that will make the student's education be of value to society in general, to themselves, and to their parents.
If somebody wants to get on right now, if they're looking for work, trying to figure out how to just learn more about you, is the best way to get on your website or Amazon and look for how to find work for the rest of your life?
Best way is my LinkedIn page, which is Dr. Chaz Austin, which has all the resources and the links to the book on Amazon and how to contact me for coursework or individual coaching or how to buy my books or whatever. So that's the place to start. It's got a ton of resources as well, just things I've written over the years that I felt would be of value to other people. Just as I'm training my clients and students, how can you be of value? How can you be a contribution and of service to humanity, given what you do? So it's a great resource and a great place to start.
And now, coming from a college professor, I love that you're trying to help kids go out and figure out, hey, maybe this, whatever, modern dance class isn't going to land me a job.
Yeah, it's Muhammad Ali's quote, which is service is the rent we pay for our time here, for our room here on earth. Yeah, that your life be about something and not getting a degree. What are you going to use the degree for? What's the purpose? Like anything else, what's it for? So I'll work with a client. I'm going to assume you're going to graduate. Then what? What are you going to do? And what are you going to do in 5 years and 10 years? Because the nature of the workplace has changed so much given the gig economy. You ain't going to have the same job or work in the same industry in 5 or 10 years because you'll get bored or things will change or technology will impact it or a combination of factors. So what are you going to do? What more are you going to learn? How are you going to upskill? So you can just keep doing good in the world and not just make a lot of money, but wake up in the morning going, I'm really making an impact and a difference on the world. There are many distinctions I talk about, but one of them is monetizable passion. So you have to understand if you like dancing, my wife and I, we study salsa dancing. Maybe in 30 years, I'd be good enough that people would pay me to dance salsa. Meanwhile, it's a hobby. So you want to understand the distinction between hobbies and monetizable passions. And you may be doing something that you don't absolutely adore and love. It's my dream job. It's always been my dream to do that. But if you can't get out of it, you get into it. Yes. And you find something that if you don't love, you can live with. I like my job. I'm helping people. And that pays for my 3 weeks off a year to do dance, which I'm not going to get paid for, but I really enjoy. So I get my jollies off on that. And meanwhile, I'm doing good work and I feel good about what I'm doing, that I am helping people and making a difference. And I wake up in the morning and I don't go to work just for the money. I go to work because it's really satisfying and I get people to smile and feel good about what I've done. And my life has purpose and value.
I love that. I wish more kids knew that they didn't have to go out and find their dream job that just they're so excited to go to work every day.
Can't
I
count
wish
how
I'd have
many.
known you 30 years ago.
Me too. I never had this, so I get to do it for others. I never had this. I sort of went blind through my career till I landed on the things that I really wanted to do and was meant to do. But I can't count how many college students I've worked with is, I'm waiting for my dream job. Well, even if you get it, it ain't going to last. Okay. Get to work, right? Find something that isn't quite the dream job. Get to work, learn, meet people, and you'll find your niche. And then that'll change in 5 or 10 years. That's the new normal. So it takes a lot of the stress off of students to work with them. But what happens is if you start my program, and it has been used at schools very effectively, that's the story, that's all in my book, they get on board very early and very quickly. And after a while, they don't need me except for high level coaching or a pep talk occasionally every month or so. But they get it. It's like, yeah, now I know how this works. I know how to be entrepreneurial. I know how to think of myself as a brand. I know how to think of myself as a business and how to contact and stay in touch with the people who are going to pay me for the work I can do for them, how I can help them in whatever they happen to be doing in their businesses.
I co-host 2 or 3 events per year all over the country, different events where we bring in speakers that are teaching people how to improve their personal life. I'll talk to my co-host and see if we maybe bring you in for our next event here as well.
I enjoy speaking to people and I enjoy group situations because it creates the serendipity. That's why I love teaching in a classroom. I teach online too, but there's something about being in the same room with people where something gets created that would not have happened otherwise. Does not happen on Zoom, unfortunately. We haven't gotten there. But you're not only teaching, but the people in the room are creating and they're starting
Yeah.
to own this. Like, I can do this. If this guy did it, I can do it too. So the great teacher, one of the quotes in the book, the great teacher inspires. So it's really a joy to be able to inspire students. And I've worked with people from 14 to 84, and it's the same
Wow.
conversation. Everybody wants their life to have meaning and purpose, but they're stumbling around trying to figure out what that might be. And I can help them get there, as do you.
I owned retail stores. Over 10 years, we had multiple retail stores, and the stuff that I wish we could have sent 99% of all of our employees through your course before
Yeah.
before they ever applied for a job. We had a few that
Yeah.
were just absolutely awesome,
Yeah,
but
because I mean, really, if I work for you at one of your retail stores, it's all about you. Yeah. How can I be of help to you in whatever you're doing? That's customer oriented, which is what an entrepreneur does, which is what a business does. How can
yeah,
I help you? How can I make you get closer to what you need? How can I be of assistance in that way? So it is it's a service mentality. Yeah, you're taking care of other people in some way, whatever it is, whether you're a brain surgeon or you're a maitre d', you're taking care of people. And once you get into that mindset, it's a real joy knowing that you've done some good.
your TEDx talk that you did, you talked about the updated SWOT analysis. I like
Yes,
how you modify that. Can you go over the SWOT analysis real quick? What the standard SWOT analysis is, and then how you changed it?
right. A SWOT analysis is 4 quadrants. Top left is strengths. Top right traditionally was known as weaknesses. I changed that to what's missing. Those two are about you as an individual, what you offer in the marketplace. The SWOT analysis was traditionally used for businesses, but my assertion is your business, your own brand. So I adapted it for individuals. Yes. The bottom 2 quadrants on the left is opportunities and on the right is threats. That's about the marketplace. Yes. So you have to understand, though you may be well qualified to do something, if the industry isn't there, If the growth isn't there, you need to find something else. So if you want to be a coal miner, probably not a great idea right now. If you want to be a photographer, and I had a friend who was a photographer close her business. She said smartphones have replaced photographers because people don't understand the difference in quality. So she's working for the Red Cross now. Yeah. So you have to understand all those. And it's really valuable because you write it down, whether it's on a computer screen or handwritten. You get to see it without drama. These are my strengths. This is what's missing that I need in order to be taken seriously and get work. So if you want to be a nurse, the fact that you have, worked in hospitals as a volunteer for 20 years, that don't make you a nurse. You need the RN. So that's what's missing. And whatever's missing needs to go into the strengths category. And you get to see that visually, graphically, like, oh, if I really want to be a nurse, I'm going to get an RN. What are the steps I need to take to get there? Because that's the passport. I cannot be a nurse just because I worked in hospitals. I have to have that. I have to have the degree as credibility. Just like when I wanted to teach at the university level, I had to get a doctorate. That's all. They wouldn't speak to me otherwise. So I got the doctorate because if you want it badly enough, you'll do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Really, you will. And you'll push through whatever fears you've had, or fear of success, as I call it, like not just fear of failure, fear of success. I see it in your eyes. There may be some question there. Fear of success is I've been talking about doing X for years, and my friends know about it and they can't even listen anymore. But if I actually do it, now I'm going to have to deliver. And that's scary. I think I'll just stay back on the couch here and moan about it and dream about it and talk about it and not have to do it. Because if I have to do it, now I have to step up. Now I have to deliver. And I just as soon not. I'll just keep talking. So it's the fear of success. You're going to have to get to the next level.
Well, and you had talked about that you'd published 3 books already. You would not believe how many people, the vast majority, want to publish a book, want to publish their first book. And I'd love to. And I've been writing one for about 15 years, and I get 4 really good chapters. The problem isn't as much, I don't think, the work as it is the fear of, what if I put it out and it sucks? What if I put it out and nobody buys it? Nobody even cares about it.
Yeah, people would rather talk about it than do it. Saying something doesn't mean anything. The only thing in life that matters is action. So I keep publishing books. I keep talking, I keep coaching, and I improve. And sometimes it works. Most of the time it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So you push on. Yeah, that's a problem for a lot of people. And when I teach my courses, which are based on my books, I tell people, and this is true, I would say a third of the people in my courses, this is all ages, mainly lately adult education, they know coming in what they want to do. My job is to kick them in the pants and get them to actually take the action and produce the results, because that's all that matters. But they know, they just need a little nudge. And a huge part of that is a concept called urgency. It ain't going to happen until it's urgent to you. I don't care what I say. You have to say, I'm getting off the couch. I'm going to actually finish the book. Yeah, as scary as that is, it's much more comfortable just being on chapter 4 and thinking about the other chapters. Yeah. But I'm actually going to do this and take the action and then see what happens. And that's very scary. But my job is to get them there, but they're not going to do it until they're ready. I can't go into the interview with them. I can't meet with the client with them. They have to do that. I can coach them, but they're the ones on the field. And until they choose to play the game, ain't going to happen. So it really comes down to, are you ready to do this? And I can give you all the coaching in the world. If you're not ready, ain't going to do it. Maybe someday, maybe I've planted some seeds. Maybe someday you'll do it. That's up to you.
We're going to do a quick commercial break. 1 sec here, and we'll be right back.
This interview is sponsored by Newswire magazine. We celebrate the entrepreneurs and thought leaders shaping the future. Those who don't just adapt, but innovate, who inspire others to think bigger, lead boldly, and create lasting change. Only a select few are featured in Newswire magazine. And for those who earn a place on the cover, the opportunities are unmatched. Your story shared with a global audience, your achievements celebrated on national billboards, reaching millions. Every leader has a story. Every vision deserves a platform. Who will rise to the top? Stay tuned. You're witnessing greatness unfold.
Before we went on break here, saying you wanted to go beyond book sales and start getting your course and your training into college as a mandatory curriculum. Can you talk about that? And then if somebody's listening to this and they're head of a college, how do they get in touch with you?
Again, go to my LinkedIn page and all the contact information is there. And for the book on Amazon is there, how to find work for the rest of your life. So I want to do public speaking because I'm evangelizing for this. Yes, this isn't about books. This is about impacting people's lives, students' lives. Yes, which is the mandatory courses. So who I need to get to I need access to the people who are decision makers at colleges and universities, because this is a game changer and it's a brand differentiator. If your college offers courses that train students how to find work, yes, and train them from the beginning so it becomes a mindset and a way of behaving, they'll take the ball themselves and make this happen. After a while, they don't need the coaching. They got it. Yeah. So I need those decision makers. I need access to those people to say, we're going to do this because this will differentiate us from the school across town that doesn't offer this. And we will satisfy the students and their parents, and they'll be really happy with what we've done for them, which is what's life going to be like beyond school.
You said you worked with clients between 14 to 84. Are you willing to go into high schools and do events,
Yes.
like a pep rally type of a
Yeah, absolutely. And I work with high school students a lot. The reason I targeted colleges is because they at least have a career office. Yes, high schools sometimes are not there. This conversation actually should start in middle school, but you can't really have courses for middle schoolers. They're not ready for it. Colleges are ready for it. And that's why I targeted that. But it should work down to high school as well. But that's why I targeted the colleges, to start there, and then it'll trickle back.
What advice would you give to professionals who want to transition into paid speaking and consulting, or just get out of the career that they're in?
If I work with, let's say you want to have a new life. I'm bored with you. Curtis is bored with what he's been doing. I've had it with this. I'm burned out. And so many people do get burned out for one reason or another. What do I do now? So the first thing I ask, first two questions are, what do you want to do? Okay. And who do you know in the field? And then we work on the SWOT analysis. What specific things do you offer in that field? Plus, what else do you need? Do you need a degree, a certificate, a license in order to operate in that new field? And the second question is, who do you know? Now you start meeting people in the field. And if you've never worked in the field before, the way in, the old, well, I have no experience. Well, if you had experience, then we could offer you a job, but I can't offer you a job. Forget that, okay? It's the side door. It's always the side door. And the side door is joining associations in the field, because you're interested, because let's say it's LinkedIn you work in. I have over 35,000 followers on LinkedIn. That's my social media platform of choice, but depends where your audience is. It may be Instagram, it may be Blue Sky, whatever, Facebook. Mine is LinkedIn. So you join associations in the field, and your headline on LinkedIn or whatever social media platform you use is that you are transitioning into the field of X. Yes. So now you contact associations in the field and say, I would like to join. I'm getting a degree in the field. I'd like to join. And yeah, okay, you're one of us. That's great. And the next step is you volunteer. So you get to work side by side with the people in the field who could hire or refer you for work. And you get to audition. So you're now on the dinner committee. Yes. And what do you think of this guy, Curtis? You've been working with him for a couple of months. Great attitude. Great team player, great ideas, comes early, stays late, just the kind of person I'd like to have working with me when I have a job opening or when I need someone. I may not have a job opening, but I have an opening for a consultant, or I have some short-term work, a gig for Curtis. That's how you get work. Because the resumes, that's 20th century. People don't read them, and you're going to hire who you know and trust anyway. So your job, Curtis, in this field is to volunteer for these organizations, get to know the people, and they'll call on you. And they may have to interview other people, but you got it locked because they know you, trust you, and like you. And that's human nature. People hire who they know and trust. You may not be the best person in the field, but you're my guy. Okay? I know you, I like you, I know you can do the job. We're good to go. I do not have time to scour the country for a year to find somebody. You'll do. So it's the idea of good enough is good enough. Yes. So I, for example, have a mechanic who works on my car. He's got his own garage and he's taken care of me for years. He takes care of my wife's car. I've referred 3 friends to him. They're all very happy with him. Is he the best mechanic in LA? I don't know, and I don't care. He delivers consistently. That's what I'm looking for. And if you're going to be a client, or I'm going to be a client of yours, let's say, and I like your work, I'll keep hiring you back because you deliver consistently. That's how it works.
You've written extensively about treating yourself like a business. What's the biggest mistake that people make when it comes to self-marketing or personal branding?
Biggest mistake. They don't understand the concept. they're, they have a entirely different mindset, the 20th century mindset. I have my degree and I know how to interview and dress for an interview. And I know what questions to answer. I'm not an entrepreneur. I just need a job. Well, the jobs are going away. So now you have to be an entrepreneur. What? No, 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 no. I deserve a job. I did all the right things. Give me the job. Yeah. So they have to start thinking in a different way and behaving in a different way. And it's like pulling teeth. I don't want to, I shouldn't have to. I remember I had a nurse in a class once. She said, I've been a nurse for 30 years and the hospital just closed. I said, well, you're going to have to do a little marketing. I shouldn't have. Well, you're going to have to get the word out to people that you're not unemployed, but
Yeah.
available. Yes. So that
Yeah.
people know. And it's something you're not just going to do once, you're going to do it the rest of your life. Once you're dead, you're off the hook. But as long as you want to keep working, you're going to need to self market. This is now your second job, like it or not. Yeah. So that's the first problem is they just don't understand the whole concept and they don't feel they should have to do this. Yes. Like when you first got, what do I need this phone for? What do you mean smartphone? I don't need that. Yes, you do. Laptop, what? We learn things. You could learn this too. And the the thing I always say to my clients is, I don't care if you like it or not. Huh, what? I don't care if you like it or not. It doesn't matter. It's just a necessary skill. Yes, just
Yeah.
embrace it. Don't have to love it, but this is what's going to keep you working and keep you off the unemployment rolls for the rest of your life.
Now you talk about emphasize entrepreneurship even within traditional jobs. How can professionals adopt an entrepreneur mindset in their careers?
I use myself as an example. I'm not entrepreneurial by nature. I just have an addiction to eating, and you get to a point where you're too old and too expensive. And you're also not willing to put up with the commuting and the politics and the butt kissing and all that. It's like, I'm done with this. Yes. So I sort of backed into it. And a lot of people do. But pretty much all my colleagues are doing this, whether it's a formal SWOT analysis and coaching from me, or it just sort of organically involved. They're evolved. They're just tired of doing it the old way. The jobs have dried up. So they start looking and going, you know what? I have things I can offer. I can still make money. And I'm kind of by default a business now because I have clients. They're not hiring full time. I don't want full time anyway. I like to take Fridays off, and the boss ain't going to let me do that. But if I'm the boss, you're taking Friday off. That's all. The work will get done. So the game becomes how little work can you do and produce the results. It's not the number of hours you put in, it's how few hours you put in. Yes, because the client only cares about did you take care of them. Whether you
Yeah.
did it in 18 hours or 2 is immaterial to them. But your game is to do it in 2 because you're so good at it and you make that much more an hour and the client's happy. It's just taking care of other people.
Myself, previously owning retail stores, and I had a cosmetic medical laser clinic, a pharmaceutical company, multiple different retail locations, cell phone company. And over the years, one of the big things that more and more employers are moving to is they're having people work from home because not because they think you'll be more productive at home, but they don't want to pay the payroll taxes. They don't want to have the risk, have the insurance in case you fall and break your ankle outside on the sidewalk. If you're able to work in an employer, at a regular job, say you're making $80 an hour or $100 an hour, whatever your rate is there, that employer has to be making enough money to justify the price that he's paying you for your hourly wage, plus payroll taxes all year all your other stuff there, benefits if they're giving you insurance, plus a profit on top of that. People get afraid of going out and taking a risk. But what's your thought on starting a side hustle, alongside of that, just dipping your toe in the water and getting out there, getting some clients and starting your own thing as you're still working a full-time job?
You have to be careful because your boss
As long as
might.
there's not no compete. Yeah.
Yeah, boss will see that as a threat. It depends. It depends on the circumstance. So I have clients that have been in that situation before. You slowly have to wean yourself away from the full-time job and be open about it with your employer because they'll find out anyway. One of the things you might consider is going to your employer and say, "I'd like to not work full-time. I would like to work part-time for you, and you'll be my number one client." Everyone is your number one client. Whoever the client is, that's your client. Okay, they don't care about anybody else. And I'd like to start. Oh, well, the boss will say that's a good idea because I was going to lay you off anyway. You're too damn expensive, and I don't want to pay the health insurance. So this would work out well. Yes, and you'll have other clients, and I'll be happy to refer you to other people in the industry who are not directly competing with me. And I'm sure you know some of them. You've been working for me for 20 years. Yeah. As long as I'm taken care of. So everybody wins in that way, and you've spun off and you haven't lost that contact. You're still working for them, albeit in a different sort of capacity. Yes, as a independent contractor, and you start to build a business. That's, I think, the way to do it for a lot of people. You just slowly, right before you get laid off, you say, "Hey, how about I work part-time for you?" That's great. Let's do that. And then you start to build a business. You kind of have to. You're forced to be entrepreneurial.
That's powerful. Now, your program is basically designed to bridge the gap between education and the real world.
Mm-hmm.
What steps could universities take right now? This was a tough one to see if you're helping people, even if they're not paying you. What steps could universities take to prepare students for their job market?
They need to contact me.
Get connected with your. Okay.
They need to contact me. I have the turnkey solution. Okay, proven to be effective. A colleague of mine took my dissertation and adapted it for workshops based on my work, based on the dissertation, and the results were spectacular. That's at the end of the book. That whole section of what she did and what the numbers that were produced were phenomenal. So using that as a guide, college, university, president, provost, whatever, needs to contact me. I'll come in there and show them how to do it. So there's a formal approach. It's set up. I can move it around, change it, adapt it. That's the word I was looking for, to a particular college or a particular university. And we started as a test. We don't change the culture overnight. Yes, we started as a test. I guarantee results. We've had it over and over again. And what happens is they'll go, "This is working. Can we do more courses?" Yeah. The key word is mandatory, though. No student wants to do this. They just want to stay in school and party and have a good time and not think about. And I've heard this so many times from students saying, "I'm not going to deal with my career. I just want to get through my courses and then I'll deal with the career." No, not the way to do it. You want to start thinking about what's the education for from freshman year, first day. Yes. So it's setting this up. So the way a college or university can do it, contact me. I will lead the charge for you. I will train people to do this and then move on to other colleges and universities. But dream is to have this be standard practice in every college and university in the U.S.
Perfect. If somebody's reading this article in Newswire magazine, is there something we could put at the bottom as far as like a clickable picture with a call to action where they can either get in touch with you? Would you rather that go to LinkedIn or maybe
I would do the
landing page?
LinkedIn page. That's
Okay.
the start. And that links to my website and the courses and the dissertation and the books and the 3 LinkedIn learning courses, which are about how to find, keep, and leave a job, which has been enormously successful for me financially over the years. And they just keep going, keep getting royalty checks every month. So the LinkedIn page is the portal to everything I offer and ways to get in touch with me, book. And by the way, the new book is at $15, $10 for the ebook. So a lot of people interested in it are unemployed. I need some guidance. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm going to do next. Buy the book. I ain't getting rich over a $15 book, believe me. So it's a little money, but it's service to people. And that really helps. And every review I've gotten thus far on Amazon has been a 5-star review. People love the book. So I would say at college, university, movers and shakers, decision makers, Dr. Chaz Austin on LinkedIn.
And what we'll do also, if you end up getting featured on the magazine, if you're reading this article right now in Newswire magazine, or you're on Success, Motivation, Inspiration, we've got 430,000 active members in our Facebook group for the Amazon show.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're watching this on Amazon TV, looking at it on the actual show page on Amazon, or if you're reading a Newswire magazine, we'll have a call to action on each of those where they can actually click there and get directly to your LinkedIn page without having to search it out and maybe misspell the name or something.
Yeah, real simple. And it's all there. And the links to everything. What does this guy offer? And people learn in different ways. So there are podcasts and there are books and online learning courses and in-person courses and coaching, which I do in person and via Zoom all over the world. So lots of options depending on how you want to access the information I have to offer.
Perfect. I was going to ask about your pilot program, about if a university or organization wants to get into your pilot program, what's the steps they need to take? But I would assume that's also just clicking that link, getting connected with you on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Contact me. And the way we'll probably set it up is we'll do a consulting deal with you, Dr. Chaz, and come out here and work with us for a month or two and set up the programs with us, deliver some workshops, have other professors be in there to understand what it is, because you're going to have to train them. I can't do this all at every school in the country. Obviously, we have to scale it. So I'll train people how to do this, but it works. It works, and the students love it, and the faculty loves it where I've done it, because it makes a real impact on the students and their parents. And it's, again, a brand differentiator for the school. So we start by have them contact me, and I'm happy to come out and visit with them and work with them and set up their program.
Perfect. Now, one last time, the name of your book, How to Find Work for the Rest of Your Life.
There it is. How to find work for the rest of your life.
Again, if you're watching this, get a hold of Dr. Chaz Austin and reach out. Even if you're a parent, you've got a student going into college, or if you're like I was, paying your own way through college, you're probably more likely to hope that you can figure out how to pay off your student loans once you're done. So if you're a college student, if you're a high school kid getting into this, that you're watching the show on Amazon or reading the article, reach out, get a hold of Dr. Chaz Austin, and figure out how to get this into your school. Thanks for being a guest on the show tonight.
Very good.